Hello everybody and welcome back to another installation of And She Rants. Today I'm talking about something that's super important, and that is who's on your team. How you mean thought you knew about the team. Who is on your team? Who is on your team? The team that you have around you is like super critical to your success. If you're a transparent person like I am and you like to build deep connections versus I build deep connections with the people that I'm friends with. So it can be hard sometimes to understand like what are the distinctions and levels of friendship, and do I need to have those, and what does that mean to have a team around me? Is it all of my friends, blah blah blah, how to answer those questions. So today I'm just going to talk about 3 things I've learned about who's on your team and building a team to kind of cover you and what that means and why it's important. So the first thing is, I have realized it's important to take inventory of your friendships before you build a team around you. Last year that I was on vacation in LA, went to a beach, went to Laguna Beach. I was writing in my journal, just taking inventory of the relationships that were around me. And there were 3 things that I was paying attention to based on just some teachings I had heard and the way that I felt like God was talking to me. And that was, 1, there are people in your life who are there to build with you. They're the people who are there to protect what you've built, and they're the people who will try to destroy what you've built. Learn the difference. And that learn the difference was very loud and very clear to me at that time as something I needed to do. And there are a few things that were important of that. When it talked about people who are there to build with you, there was just something so important and heavy on that specific point for me, because I realized that some people who I was meant to build with, I had seen as enemies and I had taken as competitors. So I would think, oh, this person's trying to do what I'm doing. This person has the same ideas as me. Oh, we all like the same things. I need to figure something else out. And that is just a voice that is either a fearful voice of worrying and whether or not there's room for you at the table, or it's just an unnecessary idea of competition, which I think a lot of us have grown up to be taught that oh, this is your space, your domain. Particularly if you exist in predominantly white spaces, there's this weird thing sometimes when you find Black people who are oh, I'm competing with you, and you're sis, thought we were here to build each other up. You need to understand that some people who have similar ideas to you, who have similar goals to you, who want to it sounds like your purpose is in the same area, they are meant to build with you. They're literally there because there's something that the 2 of you can build together, and you should explore that, understand that, figure out if that's true. See how you work together on small projects of just things that interest you, and then you may turn around and all of a sudden you're boop, I actually have a co-founder for this huge idea that both of us have been interested in, and there's a lot that comes with that. One is us being able to share responsibilities, being able to share ownership, and that's a whole nother topic for another day, but that was a lesson that I had to learn. Then when it comes to protectors, just understanding and valuing the friendships of the people who are covering you, praying for you, guarding the things that you have, not allowing you to speak negative words. I have a friend who literally always calls me, she's stop talking that way about yourself, that I had to stop talking that way when I talked to her on the phone, legitimately. She's just always pumping me up. She's my biggest cheerleader. She's cities away, in the same state, but cities away, but just covering everything that I do and not even allowing me to be the one to destroy what I've built with my words is very powerful. So everybody, I think, needs to have that on their team and understand who that person is. And then when it comes to people who are destroying what you built, can't have that. Cannot have that. And you need to learn what that looks like for you, and just be honest and truthful to yourself, and allow yourself to sit in that place where you're just hearing from a truthful place of what is this relationship, what does it mean, and what am I feeling from the interactions that I'm having. So that's one. The second thing about understanding who's on your team and building a team around you is that quality over quantity. Quality relationships over quantity. In my past relationship, I remember my ex always telling me I can't keep up with your friends, you literally have too many and I don't know their names. And I think a lot of us are in this situation because we go to college, we meet a bunch of people, we really care about them, we have a bunch of people surrounding us, and we have deep personal relationships, and that is valid and that is fair. I think it's important to make a distinction between friendships and relationships and your team, the people who are covering, protecting their, like, you are on a different level spiritually, whatever that may be for you. Like, you just connect in a way that it's like, we're about each other's future and we're here to build something. And even if it's not, we're building it together. Like, I got you in what you're building, and understanding what that relationship is and making that distinction. Sometimes you may even be confused yourself and understanding like, what are these relationships, and can I have this many people like knowing my business? And the truth is no, in my opinion, no. It's everything that you go through, everything that you are working on is not meant for everybody to be shared, not for every friend. You have a team, and it's about the quality of relationships, and you should understand what that is. I don't personally think that's like likely going to be more than 5 people. I remember there was a tweet that I saw, and I may have mentioned this in a different video, from on my leaks page, where someone had said, I wish that you would share more of your struggles with us while you were going through them. And it's crazy because social media is just really interesting, and a place where we feel entitled to understanding and being a part of people's struggles. And while transparency is really important, I think transparency is ministry. Like, I think it can be healing for people. I think it can transform lives. I think it does a lot of things for people's relationships to each other and to family and all that good stuff. But no one is entitled to your struggle, and you are certainly not entitled to it while I'm going through it. And that's something that I think we need to, in this generation, come to an understanding of what we are and are not entitled to, and also what we should and should not share with individuals. There are some things that have to be just reserved for the people who are going to protect you. There are some things that have to just be reserved for the people who see you as your best, even when you're down at your worst. There are some things that can't be shared with everyone, because you don't know who's plotting against you and waiting for you to fall to step on you. In the real world, everyone is not well intentioned. Some people are there to manipulate, some people are there to exploit, some people are there to steal, and you have to understand that. Your dreams, your ideas, your life, your relationships, like, people are coming for that. And so you have to be conscious of how much you give to other people and how available people are. Quality is definitely more important than quantity when it comes to building out your team. And the other thing is, when you are building a team, you have to realize that you are not always going to be the leader on your team. You are not always going to be the leader on your team. This is something that I've had to learn. It's really easy for us, as we look at the future of our lives, as we think about our purpose and the outcome of what will be. We think about us at the forefront and the people who are there to help us get there. But the truth is, sometimes us getting there has to do with us serving other people. And there's going to be many times in your life when that's the role you're meant to play on the people who you've put on your team. And sometimes I think we look at those relationships differently. We give them a certain dynamic. We call those our mentees. We make them seem like at a lower level, higher in terms of a hierarchy, because we're serving them. You may be called to serve people who are around you, even though they are building your dream. They're helping you build your purpose, and also serving them may actually be a part of your purpose and getting you to wherever you need to go. So being able to take your ego out of that and see and understand that your team's not just meant to take care of you. It's a reciprocal relationship. You should have equal partnerships in your relationships with the people on your team. You should feel like you can go to them just as much as they can come to you. It's not meant to be one-sided. This is not like literally a team in terms of people who are like, here, whatever you want. It's called a team of people who are like standing side by side with you on the sidelines, like looking at your future, looking at the things that are trying to come at you like head on, like let's go arm in arm. And I think part of that becomes easier when you have people around you who are aligned in your purpose, who are pushing towards similar things, who have like a similar like understanding of who they want to be in the world, like what the world should look like how they want to change it, and like what we are all called to do. Like once you kind of get on the same wavelength as the people who are on your team, it becomes easier to serve their purpose, because serving their purpose is clearly serving your purpose too. So I think that getting to a place of understanding that you are not always going to be the lead and at the forefront of your team is an important part of learning how to grow that and picking who to be on your team and discerning what comes next and understanding the dynamic of your personal relationships. That's all from me. Just a little bit about the team. We don't do ride or dies because I'm not taking my friends anywhere to die. If you agree, disagree, please let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I always say. And yeah, guess I'll see you next time for another rant. Bye.